They allow the old them to come with them to their new future that they're trying to build. And that's just a huge mistake. And so if I can challenge you to do something, it's chase your future from the future. Welcome back to the Leaders Only podcast, where we talk about business, leadership, mindset, and just pretty much anything revolved around building an incredible life. You know, one of the reasons that I started this podcast is because I felt like on the way to where we're at now, there wasn't really a place to go to learn tangible skills that are needed in order to succeed and further yourself and just get better overall in every area of your life. And so some background about me, I built a sales company that does over 8 figures a year. I own over $10 million worth of real estate, and I've built a multiple 7-figure income that's streamlined and in all honesty doesn't really need me. I plan on teaching you and documenting everything that I learned along the way. And if you get something out of today's message, if you can do me a favor, if you can like, share, and subscribe, it will give us the ability to further our message and help more people, which is what we're all about. Thank you guys so much. Let's dive in. I'm a big mood. You can't name a lot of things. I am so excited about today. And the reason I'm so excited about today is because if you are listening to this right now, this is the very first episode, the very first message of all of 2024. We're officially in a brand new year. And so what I want to go over with you today is a couple of things that you need to do in order to separate yourself from everyone else in the population. Because let's be real, there are about 8.1 billion people on this planet that's about to enter the year of 2024. But what's crazy is of that 8.1 billion people, only about 8% of them will go on to accomplish their New Year's resolutions and accomplish the goals that they have for the year of 2024. And so I don't want to just give you some resources in order to be a part of that 8%. I want to give you the resources necessary for you to go out there and not just hit your goals, but smash your goals and be in the 1% of people that make it happen in the year of 2024. And so in order to do that though, you got to make an upfront decision that you're going to change, that you're going to be better, that you're not going to bring the same old bad habits that you had in 2023 and 2022 into the new year. You have to make the commitment to change, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so one of the huge mistakes that I see people make when they're trying to transform their life is they bring their past into their future. They allow what they have done to be an indicator of what they can do. They allow the old them to come with them to their new future that they're trying to build. And that's just a huge mistake. And so if I can challenge you to do something, it's chase your future from the future. Let me say that again. Chase your future from the future. And what I mean by this is if you are bringing the past you, the old you, the person that's made mistakes, the person that's failed, the person that you considered a loser, if you bring that person into the new year, well, guess what? If you have considered yourself to be a loser in the past, you're not going to be a winner in the future. The future you is a champion. The future you is a winner. The future you makes it happen. So you need to chase your future goals based off the future you mentality, because if you are chasing the goals that you have for your future based off the past you, well then guess what? You're going to carry your old bad habits, the old mistakes into the present, and it's going to affect your ability to execute. And so I just want to challenge you to make that upfront decision, upfront commitment that you're going to change, that you're going to be different going into this new year, or else you're just going to rinse and repeat exactly what's happened over the last year, 2, 3, 4 years of your life. And obviously that version of you has led to the results that you're currently getting. And I don't think you'd be listening to this podcast right now or listening to this or watching this on YouTube right now if you weren't ready to make a decision to change your life. So I just want to challenge you to show up better, to show up bigger, and to change your operating system so that way you can go execute at the highest level as we enter this new year. So let's talk about what those 3 separators are. I'm going to be going over 3 things that's going to allow you to separate yourself from the pack. And as I go over these 3 things, I don't want you to just hear them. I don't want you to just have it go through one ear and out the other. I want you to make an upfront decision that you are going to embody these 3 things, because these 3 things can change your life. These 3 things can set you up for success in 2024. These 3 things are the separators that's going to allow you to not just be good, but become great. And it's important that we don't just hear them, but we decide to take ownership of them. So number 1 is we have to gamify our business. Yes, we need to turn our business into a game. If you look at the most successful business people, the most successful entrepreneurs in the world, they don't look at business as something that they have to go do. They look at business as a game that they get to go play for a couple of reasons. Number 1, it makes things more fun, right? Business is hard. There's setbacks, there's rejection, there's adversity, there's ups, there's downs. So how do you get yourself to continue to do it day in and day out? The only way to continue to do the boring stuff over and over again is if you know the outcome is going to lead to a championship. championship. If you know the outcome is going to lead to you winning, which is why you have to gamify it, because if you don't gamify it, then there is no championship and there is no winning. And so it allows you to operate with higher levels of enthusiasm because you are operating from a place of having fun, not a place of having to show up and work every single day. The second reason they gamify it is because it brings out the most competitive version of you. If you look back at your entire life, when did you get the most competitive? I guarantee you it had something to do with playing a game, whether it was playing football, basketball, soccer, Monopoly. Heck, maybe it was a video game. I don't know what it is for you. But the fact of the matter is I guarantee you the most competitive versions of you have always come out when you were competing to win and when you were playing some sort of game. So if you want to bring out the most competitive version of you in business, then the only way to do that is to then look at business as a game. Who's ahead of you right now? Who has more points? Who's racking up the scoreboard? Who's showing up early? Who's leaving late? Who's going the extra mile? And then allow that to pull the best version out of you. I really want to be upfront with you. One of the things that's kept me going all of these years in business, we've gotten to a point where we're 100% financially free. If I didn't work another day in my life, we'd make millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. But the reason we're still in the hunt, the reason I'm still after it, it's because I want to compete. I want to win. I want to make things happen. I want to change my life. And I don't just want to do it. I want to bring a whole bunch of people with me that also do it.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have not had the opportunity to subscribe just yet, if you can go ahead and do that, that would be incredible. We have about 10,000 plus active listeners and not all of you have subscribed just yet. So if you guys can go ahead and do that, that would be incredible. And hopefully you enjoy the rest of the episode.
Which leads me to my next point, which is think about what games relate the most to you. For me, I always looked at business as a combination between soccer and chess. Soccer, because that's the sport that I grew up playing. For you, it might be football or basketball or whatever it might be, right? But I come from an industry that always preached that in order to make $1 million a year, you needed 7 to 10 key people and you'll make $1 million a year. So coming from the sport of soccer, there's typically 11 starting players on the field. So for me, I thought to myself, well, if I go after 11, then by default, I'll get 7 and I'll get 10. And 11 makes sense in my mind because that was the number that I grew up playing with, right? There's 11 players on a field. So for me, I was looking for my starting 11. I was looking for my 11 key players that was going to allow us to go from a good team to an absolute great team. So when it came to mentoring certain people and working with certain people, the thought that went through my mind is, are they a starter? Are they a starter? Could they be a part of my starting 11? Could they be a part of my championship team? And if the answer to that question was no, then I went on to someone else to work with. And I know that might sound harsh, but if you were Bill Belichick and you were looking to build out a starting 11, offensive team, are you going to put the best players in the game? Absolutely. And that's how I was thinking. I was looking for the best players that we can put in the game. So I was constantly scanning on who's going to be a part of the starting 11, who's going to be a part of the starting 11. And we found those people, which is pretty incredible. Now my new mission from a soccer perspective is to build a new starting 11 that competes and beats the old starting 11 because the old version of me recruited and scouted that 11. And the new version of me can bring in a heck of a lot more better people that actually stand a chance about competing with these old school people, which is one of the things that I'm once again gamifying again. I'm looking to build a brand new squad of 11 that can beat the old squad of 11. And that's where my intentions are going right now, which is pretty exciting. Another thing that I relate business to is the game of chess. Because business is strategic. And I always love the game of chess because it required you to think 3, 4, 5, 6 moves ahead, especially if you want to win. And so in business, it's the exact same thing. The first piece sets up the second piece, and the second piece sets up the third, and the third sets up the fourth, and that leads to a checkmate when it comes to business. And so if you gamify your business and you start to look at it from a perspective of the games you like to play, all of a sudden, it becomes a lot easier to stay in the game. It becomes a lot easier to keep your head down and keep working. And it gives you a lot more enthusiasm as you are going through not only the good times, but even more importantly, the hard times. And so we have to gamify our business. The second thing that's going to separate you going into 2024 is your ability to take 100% responsibility and take 100% ownership for every area of your life. I want to be upfront with you. The difference between the 8.1 billion people that are going to enter 2024 and the 8% of people that actually go on to hit their goals is those 8% are people that take ownership. Those 8% are the people that take 100% responsibility for their life. They don't point the finger and say it's because of him or her or that person. They take responsibility and say, you know what? I am at where I'm at because the thoughts I think, the decisions I've made, and the actions that I've taken. And so your ability to take ownership going into the new year is going to separate you because let's be real. Everyone else is going to point the finger. Everyone else is going to say it's because of someone else. Everyone else is going to blame a circumstance, or they're going to blame a situation, or they're going to blame a person. There are going to be very few people that actually take 100% responsibility for every single area of their life, because it's a lot easier to point the finger and blame someone else to comfort our own insecurities than it is to take ownership and say, you know what, it's my fault. It's because of me. I'm at where I'm at because of me. My financial situation is because of me. My small business is because of me. This setback is because of me. This adversity is because of me. The faster you take responsibility, the faster you will find a solution. Because if you never take responsibility for the problem, well, then guess what? You are never going to work towards fixing a problem. But the faster you take responsibility for a problem, the faster the problem leads to a solution. And the faster you get a solution, the faster you attain success. So what does taking ownership look like? Number one is taking responsibility. It's because of me, it's my fault. But Matt, you weren't even in the room. It's because of me, it's my fault. Matt, you had nothing to do with it. It's because of me, it's my fault. Taking 100% responsibility. That's number one. Number two is creating a solution to solve the problem. This is the problem. This is the solution I came up with. And then number three is actually taking action towards fixing the problem. It doesn't matter if you take ownership. It doesn't matter if you figure out a solution to the problem. If you don't actually take the action necessary to fix the problem, then you didn't really take ownership of the situation. And so I just want to encourage you and I want to challenge you to take 100% ownership throughout this entire year, because everyone else is going to blame everyone else. Everyone else is going to blame a situation. Everyone else is going to blame the circumstances, but not you. You're the one that's going to take 100% responsibility for your life and say, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm not putting the pressure on anyone else. I'm 100% putting the pressure on me. And that's the person that's going to go on to have tremendous amounts of success in 2024. And last but not least, number three is you have to surround yourself with winners. Well, why is that? Because winners win, and winners always find a way to win. And if you attach yourself to a circle of winners, you will also by default go out there and win. It's either that or you will filter yourself out. But I don't think if you're listening to this right now that you're the type of person that will filter yourself out, which means that if you attach yourself to winners, you're going to become a winner too. You know, we've all heard before that if you hang out with 5 rich people, you'll become the 6th. Or if you hang out with 5 broke people, you'll become the 6th. Or if you hang out with 5 fit people, you'll become the 6th. Well, guess what? If you hang out with 5 winners, you'll become the 6th. Winners have a recipe for winning, to the point where it doesn't matter what sport you throw them in, what business you throw them in, what activity you throw them in, they're always going to find a way to win, or they're going to die trying, right? I don't have a lot of talents. I don't have a lot of nameable skill sets. But one thing that I know about myself is it doesn't matter what we do. It could be shuffleboard, Monopoly, soccer, football. It could be badminton. It could be a sport or a business activity that I've never played before. But one thing that I know about myself is I'm going to do everything in my power to win, as long as it's legal, moral, and ethical. I'm going to do everything in my power to win, or I'm going to die trying. And that's the mentality of a winner. And so if you want to become a winner, then you need to hang out with other people who operate at that level of a standard. You need to hang out with other people that operate at that high of a level, who want to change their life, who are constantly making it happen. Because here's the deal. You want a whole bunch of people around you that's going to force you to level up. That's going to make you raise your standards. It's going to make you rise to a higher occasion. They're going to outwork you, and it's going to make you work harder. They're going to outperform you, and it's going to make you want to become a better performer. They're going to outsave you, and it's going to make you want to save more money. They're going to outwork you in the gym, and it's going to want to make you become more fit. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with. Those that are constantly challenging what you believe to be okay. The ones that are constantly challenging your comfort zone. The ones that are constantly challenging your current operating system. Those are the people that you want to surround yourself with. So if you make the commitment that you are going to earn your way into the circle of winners, then by default, I guarantee you that you will also become a winner. There's also a recipe that all of these people have learned, because how you win at one thing is how you win at another thing. It's just a recipe that you develop in your mind. And the more you hang out with winners, the more you understand and learn that recipe, and the more you can adopt it in your own mentality, which is going to then lead to you succeeding once again at a higher level. And so those are the 3 things that you need in order to separate yourself in the year of 2024. Number 1, you need to gamify your business. Number 2, you need to take 100% ownership and 100% responsibility 100% of the time. And then last but not least, number 3, you got to earn your spot at the table of winners. Because if you don't, that means you're hanging around with people who aren't winning. And if you're hanging around with people that aren't winning, then that means they're probably comforting the lack of effort, the lack of work ethic, the lack of execution. And those are not people that you want to surround yourself with. So once again, if you guys got something out of today's message, if you can do me a favor, if you can like, share, and subscribe, that'd mean the absolute world to us. As you guys know, we put out all this information for free All that we ask is that if you got something out of today's message, that you share it with other people. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next week on another episode of the Leaders Only Podcast.